So that was the history of earthquake engineering. Dili gyud siya ingon nga straight no nga nag-focus sila on earthquake engineering. It just started what is the composition of the earth, and probably there are also other related things that they have discovered because of that. So in the scientific community, if you have a theory, you need to prove that theory, di ba? Mo nila gibuhat, and then there were theories before and then they were proven sani kanang sayob, not factual. And then through time, they have discovered that the earth is composed of metals and minerals. They have studied the ocean floor, which led to the theory of plate tectonics. Niabot si radiometric dating, which arrived to the conclusion that the age of the earth is billions of years old. And then niabot na din si study of seismology. So there is already a study of earthquakes and then the elastic waves, and eventually it led to the earthquake engineering. But later na nato na, before we proceed with the history of the earthquake engineering, let's have first the Earth's layer. Kaya mo ganyan ko ilang ginapangita. So we have already discussed that beneath the crust na ay liquid outer core and solid inner core. Now there are two ways to classify the layers of the Earth. First one is mechanically or rheologically. This is according to the physical properties of the layers. So when we say physical properties, now we are talking about is it solid, is it liquid, or is it plastic? So when we say plastic, this is something like a semi-liquid. This is not your friend, this is a semi-liquid. And then the other way to classify the layers of the Earth is according to its chemical composition. So in the chemical composition, we have the crust, the mantle, and the core. First, let's have the chemical layers. So the outermost layer is composed of crust. And then it's composed of the rocky silicate material with some aluminum and trace amounts of all the naturally occurring elements. Thickness of the crust is 50 kilometers. If you think of this, medyo baga na gini siya. But considering that the radius of the Earth is 6,400 kilometers, the crust is being compared to the thickness of an eggshell. Grabe, no? And then there are two types of crust. We have the continental crust and the oceanic crust. The oceanic crust, of course, this is the crust in the ocean, and then the continental crust is where the islands are. So, we have the continental crust, and then the oceanic crust is thin but denser. Next is we have the mantle. So the mantle is composed of large amounts of iron and magnesium and silicates. So it extends from the crust 2,900 kilometers down. And then finally we have the core. So the core is primarily made of iron and nickel, and is around 3,200 degrees Celsius to 4,000 degrees Celsius. So it is the magnetic iron and nickel in the core that is thought to be responsible for the Earth's magnetic field. So we have the crust, and then we have the mantle, and finally the core. Now, according to the mechanical or rheological layers, or that is according to the physical properties of the layers, we describe the property of those layers according to how solid is it, if it is solid, liquid, or semi-liquid, or plastic. Of course, ang pinakaibabaw, we have the lithosphere. This is thin, cool, and solid. So, si lithosphere, this is composed of crust and upper mantle, composed mainly of silicates, and it floats on the underlying asthenosphere. So, di ba si crust is kana. Si lithosphere is now siya upper mantle, no? The upper mantle is considered the lithosphere. Another day, this is the lithosphere. This is the crust, and then the lithosphere, composed of the crust and uppermost solid mantle. Next is the asthenosphere. So from solid, we have a semi-liquid, starting from around 80 to 100 kilometer deep. And then, since the asthenosphere is semi-liquid, the rocks in the asthenosphere is molten, and they flow in a circular motion, no, creating convection currents of hot rock. This is the reason why the continents are moving, because the asthenosphere is moving. Now, there are convective currents in the asthenosphere. It is this movement which helps move the continents and creates volcanoes and lava flows. So, mo ni siya. This is, since plastic man siya, no, and then there is heat that generates motion, slow motion, and because of that motion, the continents were moving. Next is we have the mesosphere, comprising of the inner part of the mantle. And then the mesosphere is a region of very hot solid rock. So from semi-solid, we have now again solid. So although this part is hotter than the asthenosphere, na mas ubos ba siya? But since the pressure is too high, liquid cannot be formed. So na mo man siya gaaway man diri ang pressure and temperature. Of course, too high the temperature, it means the material will melt. But if the pressure is too high, the material will not melt but solidifies. So mesosphere is now solid. And then we have the core. The core is divided into two parts. We have the liquid and the solid. So in the liquid outer core, temperature wins, of course, because the rocks there was molten. And then the solid inner core, the pressure is too high for liquid to form. That's why it's solid. So this is the layers. Now this is the core, now the inner core, the outer core, and then we have here our asthenosphere, the mesosphere, and the lithosphere. So moving in from the surface to the center of the earth, we could expect that the temperature will increase. So the more kalot palalom, that we can expect the temperature will increase the hotter it gets. As well, the pressure also is increasing. But we would go from ibabaw, lithosphere, solid, and then we have the asthenosphere, a semi-liquid or plastic rock. Mabalik na po siya solid pag-abot sa mesosphere. Then we have the liquid outer core, which is again liquid, and then the inner core, which is solid.